Here are the top 5 running backs that the Dallas Cowboys should be trying to draft now that Ezekiel Elliott is no longer on the team. Ezekiel Elliott, as we know, was released from the Dallas Cowboys, open to free agency now. And so now, what do the Cowboys do from here? In my opinion, it's not a lot out in free agency. I don't think the Cowboys are going to go that route. I think the Cowboys are going to look to reload in the draft. And do the Cowboys need to draft a running back? Well, I'm going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But first, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. In my opinion, the Cowboys might need to draft 2 running backs if they possibly can, or figure out how to get 2 running backs in the building. I'll tell you that first and why. Because you have a Tony Pollard coming back from a lower leg injury. We don't know how explosive Tony Pollard will be, if he will return fully back to form. That's number 1. Number 2, you do not know the injury threshold and if he will get re-injured. He got banged up a lot last year with the increase in carries. Yes, he had increased productivity. Yes, he had a fantastic year. He made the Pro Bowl. Salute to Tony Pollard. But if you're going to give him equal carries, what I've seen, and this is the trend based on all running backs, injuries beget injuries. And if he got dinged up and injured a little bit last year, what are you going to think is going to happen with another year on his body and coming back from a lower leg injury? He's going to get dinged up a little bit more, and possibly you may miss games with a Tony Pollard. So you have to get another running back in the draft. Maybe you go through free agency. That's also a possibility on picking up a running back, but I don't really think there's a lot of quality free agent backs out there. They've already been signed, and they've been signed very, very quickly, by the way. So would it be smart for the Cowboys to get younger in the room with Malik Collins as well as a slasher, change of pace back? Absolutely. And I think it's not even a bad idea if the Cowboys happen to pick up a couple running backs in this draft, somewhere between 2 and 5. And what I mean by that is the 2nd and the 5th round. I think you can get some quality running backs. It's a good amount of depth in this draft with the running back class, and I'm going to go through a little bit of that and some of the content on who I think will be an ideal fit for the Cowboys and exactly why. This is not in any particular order until I get to my last 2, which are kind of my sleeper guys that I think would add value, but they're not my first choices. So you got to stick around for the end if you want to hear those 2 people. All right. So my first guy, that I think that the Cowboys, if they possibly can, man, you need to take a stab at this guy, is Sean Tucker, running back out of Syracuse. Man, I like him. 5'9", a little bit more than 200 pounds, runs around a 4.5 40, and to me, he runs faster on tape than he tests on running, which I like, because when I'm scouting a player, tape is the premium. I'm not looking for you to be a superstar in shorts and you to have marginal tape, and then I'm going to move you up on my draft board. I'm looking for you to have fantastic tape and your workouts to give a little bit of validity to your actual film. And that's what I think happened with him. I think he's even better on film than he was on workouts. He has a low center of gravity. He has quickness. He has great acceleration. He also is a guy that, with his stature being compact, 5'9", 200, I believe in 5 or 7 pounds, he runs downhill. He's tough. He's physical. He has great vision. He catches well out of the backfield. He's a little tough guy, and that's what I like, man. I like him a lot, and I think if the Cowboys get a chance to get Sean Tucker from Syracuse, I think that they ought to do it. He's actually 207 pounds. Number 2, Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. Listen, this guy is a guy that runs behind his shoulder pads. He's a guy that's a tough inside runner. Is he as shifty as Sean Tucker? No, he's not. Does he have the acceleration of Sean Tucker? No, he doesn't. But He's a tough, gritty guy. I think he'll be a good change of pace back, a good short yardage back, a good back to run on first downs. I like him quite a bit, and I think that he will be a really good complementary piece to the Dallas Cowboys running game. All right, so that's my number 2. My number 3 is Evan Hall. Evan Hall out of Northwestern. Man, look, the thing I like about him is that he has quick feet in the hole. Does he have elite acceleration and speed? No, he doesn't. But when I say quick in the hole, I mean he's able to be sudden and quick with his feet and make you miss in the hole. If you look at him, you look at his film, he's really, really good in between the tackles. He's a downhill runner. Notice a common theme, downhill runner, and he has good size. He's 214 pounds, which lends itself to taking a little bit of punishment and being able to finish runs. Evan Hall. All right, so moving on, guys. Look, another guy that I like, and hey, you guys probably know about him. Listen, I like Kendrick Miller. Kendrick Miller out of TCU. Listen, to me, he has very average speed, but man, I don't really care about that. I like the fact that he's shifty enough, he's elusive enough to make you miss. And what I mean shifty and elusive enough to make you miss, I mean defensive linemen, linebackers. Look, and he runs downhill. He runs behind his shoulder pads. I think that this guy is he's a 215 pound guy. He's a guy that can be a really good inside consistent runner. He's gonna break off some big runs here and there, but man, look, in college he broke off some long ones. In the NFL, I think it's a little bit different. I think that, you know, it's faster guys, and he's not gonna be able to get as many long runs, I don't think, in the NFL unless he's at a certain angle. But man, he's a good solid back. He can run it outside, inside. He's a guy that can overall just be a workman-like back for you and kind of get the job done. And so I like Kendrick Miller. All right, so my last 2, and these are my sleepers. And the reason why these guys are my sleepers, and I'll tell you before I get into them, is because I like their talent. I like their upside, and one in particular who I'll name first. But I think that some of the other backs that I mentioned have more mature running styles, and I think they may have played a little bit in some instances, especially this first guy I'm going to mention, tougher competition, but I like their upside. I like their potential. All right, so Dwayne McBride out of UAB. Listen, he's a big old fast dude, man. He's 210 pounds, 209 pounds, man. Good acceleration. I think that, you know, he has good feet. He's tough. He can break tackles. To me, I think he runs a little bit high. He can be a little bit susceptible, man, to some big shots on the next level. But look, at UAB, man, he was really, really good. Had really good film. Can run, a big guy, adequate feet. I think that he runs, here's the common theme, downhill. He's a downhill guy, run behind his shoulder pads fairly decently. I think he can run with a little bit more leverage. I think that sometimes he runs up the back of his blockers a little bit, and I like to see him make a little bit better decisions in the hole in terms of not wasting steps before he gets into his cut and get through the hole. All right, and so I think that he needs to mature a little bit on his running style and his footwork. But man, he's a big fast guy. He has a lot of potential, man. And look, man, fast 40 time, ran a really good 40 time. So look, I like him a whole lot. All right, and my last guy on this list, sleeper, that will be a value add for the Cowboys, in my opinion, will be Chris Rodriguez Jr. out of Kentucky. And look, he's 217 pounds. He is, in my opinion, the quintessential power back. He's a guy, man, that he's not trying to duck and dodge you. He's looking for the open hole, and that guy is going to run downhill, and he's going to put 2 hands on the football and, man, try to finish forward, man. That's how he runs. It lends itself to a shorter NFL career, AKA think the late great Marion Barber. Not saying that he's going to be on his level in the NFL, but in terms of running style, trying to run through people, not really avoiding contact, not overly shifty, but just put his foot in the ground, just does enough to hit the hole, and is just going to be strong and physical and try to run through people. So look, I think that, hey, he has some potential, and I think he's a good, solid short yardage back. All right, so that's my solution to the Ezekiel Elliott situation. I think that, hey, those are several quality backs that the Cowboys have to pick from, and there's more that I'm not going to cover in this video, but you guys do your own research. Let me know what you think about this video. If you agree with me or not, comment below. And don't forget to follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. Salute.